Hello students, welcome to EPG Parshala. I am Dr. Savita. Today we are going to discuss about the module Tourism Legislation and its status in India under the paper Tourism and Hospitality, Entrepreneurship and Legal Environment. Dear students, after completing this module, you will be able to understand what is tourism legislation, the importance of tourism laws, and the present status of tourism legislation in India. Legislation on tourism attempts to chalk in clear and unambiguous terms and rights and responsibilities of its various segments vis-a-vis the user, vice versa, and to provide for legal protection of the rights and enforcement of the responsibilities thus defined. The thrust of legislation can be suitably oriented to facilitate the faster and smoother growth of various tourist-related activities, though introduction of streamlined and simplified measures such a single window clearance system for the opening of a hotel, which may, for example, be at present requiring clearances, approvals from the central, state of local agencies.
According to Ronald A. Kaiser, Travel and Tourism Law 1994, tourism regulation creates and describes 7 fundamental ideas. Travel is an authorized right. Trustworthy and protected transportation must be readily available. Harmless and adequate accommodations should assume the traveler. All tourists must require access to such accommodations. Tour and accommodation cost must be equitable. Guideline of the travel and tourism trade is compulsory and redressal method for transgression of rights and regulations is compulsory. However, nations like the United States might be fairly progressive in relative to tourism law. The World Tourism Organization stated that all countries developing or underdeveloped were underdeveloped insofar as tourism legislation is concerned. A critical subject to be cautioned here is what all would tourism regulation include of and for whom. In general terms, tourist law would seek to define in well-defined and clear-cut terms the rights and duties of the different sectors of tourism vis-a-vis the user as well as the service provider. Till date, the types of tourism legislation that have been created or introduced in various countries can be classified into the following useful capacities. Persons associated to the protection of tourists, those associated to border regulators, those associated to class of facilities, those associated to safety of ecosystem, those associated to preservation of historical monuments and sites, those associated to economic growth, those regulating the connection of different sectors of the tourism industry, etc. Another way in which we can categorize tourism legislation is to arrange these legislations industry-wise, that is, legislation according to hotel industry, aviation industry, travel industry, etc. However, more and more areas are being added like tourist safety, health and hygiene, protection of privacy, along with various environmental legislations and regulations that have emerged over the years. There is also conservation about developing tourism legislation passed to check the bad influences of tourism, safeguarding the host population's welfare, and so on.
Now we will discuss about the importance of tourism laws. Mishra and Ravindran have noted that the emergence of tourism as an important activity has brought into focus the need for harmonious relationship between the tourists and the providers of the tourist services. A number of problems of tourists have their roots in the absence of any standard norms regulating the trade. Once the standards of quality of services are laid down and revised periodically as per market exigencies, everyone would be clear about whether in a particular case the services were deficient or not. This will lead to an overall improvement in the quality of services and minimization of disputes between the tourists and the providers of services. The financial significance of tourism and the current phase of its growth has also caused into stronger emphasis on the need for suitable central regulations to organize and regulate the actions of the industries on professional lines and guarantee observation of high ethical principles appropriate with the needs or demands of a global activity. This is especially so because international tourism is becoming highly competitive in the closed destinations nations.
Scope of tourism laws. A crucial question regarding enactment of tourism legislation is that from whose point of view the legislation is to be made. From the viewpoint of tourism industry, from the viewpoint of international tourists, from the viewpoint of the standard maintained in the highly developed world, from the viewpoint of domestic tourists, from the viewpoint of national interest, from the viewpoint of destination interest, from the viewpoint of host population. The emphasis in this regard is generally on the quality of services, standards to be maintained, and minimizing disputes between service providers and tourists. There are many grey areas like child labor, sex tourism, condition of small service providers, etc. that also need to be addressed in the broader gambit of tourism legislation. In fact, the advocacy of tourism legislation should not be a panic reaction to the interest of the rich and dominant nations. Further, a legislation has to be strongly backed up by awareness generation, or else mere formulation of legislation and its imposition will serve no purpose. In many areas, particularly among the business organizations operating in the tourism sector, there is also a need for a code of conduct not only in their dealings with each other but also vis-a-vis the tourists and the host population. Besides awareness, any legislation needs constant monitoring also. This need efforts in a direction where the law is adhered to rather than waiting for some law to be violated and then take action on it. This is vital because of the nature of the tourism services and impacts. Preventive measures must be incorporated in the law itself in order to make them more effective as far as their operational aspect is concerned. For example, there may be a law that polythene bags or any kind of non-biodegradable waste is not to be thrown in the eco-sensitive areas, and such an action would invite penalties. The law may exist, but unless the tourists, tour operators and other service providers are sensitized on the importance of this law, the law may not serve any meaningful purpose. Having common tourism legislation is not an easy task for any country because of the wide-ranging laws that previously endure in relation to diverse actions and conditions that have a bearing on tourism processes and actions. Yet efforts in this way have to continue with an attention that tourism law takes into account a complete site and is not only a tool for the security of industry's welfare only. Tourism, as we know, is a varied endeavor with distinctive segments, diverse kinds of destinations, diverse kinds of travelers, and diverse kinds of difficulties. The World Tourism Organization has commenced the Tourism Law Info facility on its website. Its certification center had by 1998 composed more than 2,000 articles of rules and guidelines leading the key capacities of tourism action in more than 140 nations.
There is no single thing as such that can be defined as a tourism law as of the mixed nature of tourism itself, though regulations are universal in the tourism industry in direction to promote, regulate, permit, empower, or ban the business related relaxation actions of both tourists as well as service providers.
Following undernoted areas can be identified for facility of consideration in regard to feasibility of enactment of legislation. Contractual relationship between consumer and providers of tourism services, consumer protective legislation for hotel, catering, tourism and travel industry, health and hygiene regulations for hotel and restaurants, legislation for maintenance of health and hygiene standards by accommodation units such as paying guest houses, dharamshalas, sarais, railway retiring rooms, waiting rooms, standards of health and hygiene for other catering establishments including the abhas vendors, regulations for maintenance of standards and facilities in tourist transportation including tourist coaches, tourist taxis and railway compartments. Legislation to regulate operations of liquor licensing system and ancillary licenses dealing with music, dancing, gambling and other relating leisure activities. Labor legislation in this labor-intensive industry and its impact on contract of employment, wage councils, equal pay, sex discrimination, employment protection and other related legislations. Ecological and environmental protection measures to regulate coordinated development of hotel facilities, tourist resorts, etc. Measure for protection of cultural heritage. Pollution and litter control measures for tourist resort and places. Health, medical protection and insurance cover for tourists. Legislation to regulate trade practices and trade descriptions by souvenir and other commercial establishments including advertising agencies dealing with tourists. Legislation to regulate visitor management services, especially guides and tour conductors. Legislation for tourism management at monuments, wildlife parks, places of worship and beaches.
There are also regulations to identify the rights of the tourists as well as agreement regulations to define the affairs within the industry sectors. In fact, accommodation and travel were two areas where laws have been there for a prolonged period of time. But now, fresh and new areas that needed to be united under tourism laws have occurred, and there has been a requirement for complete tourism laws.
Notwithstanding its role as a catalyst, the ministry has nevertheless been successful in securing several incentives, including tax and fiscal reliefs extended to the tourism industry. The approach paper to the 7th five-year plan as formulated by the Planning Commission and approved by the National Development Council recommended that tourism be accorded the status of an industry. In pursuance of this recommendation, the Ministry of Tourism has been able to secure for tourism the status of an industry in the states of Arunachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Haryana, Bihar, Tripura, Andaman and Nicobar and Goa, while Orissa, Rajasthan and West Bengal have declared hotel as an industry. The economic significance of the tourism industry and the current phase of its growth has caused into stronger emphasis the requirement for proper laws to control the industry on professional lines and guarantee execution of proper right principles proportionate with the requirement of the global economic activity. This is specifically so as global tourism is becoming extremely competitive in the nearby destinations. Implication of tourism laws in Indian perspective. There are varieties of regulations in India which are directly or indirectly relating to tourism, which are as follows. Accommodations. Department of Tourism regulations for categorization of hotels, etc. The Sarais Act. Protection of Tourists and Health, Prevention of Food Adulteration Act, etc., Indian Penal Code, Consumer Protection Act. Associated with the travel trade and travel agencies, state acts relating to tourism, environment related, the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act, the Environment Act, the National Environment Tribunal Act, Coastal Zone Regulation Act, etc., the Indian Forest Act, the Wildlife Protection Act, the Forest Conservation Act, monuments, regulations made by the Archaeological Survey of India, guidelines issued by the Ministry of Culture, etc., the Ancient Monuments Act.
Now we will discuss the present status of tourism laws in India. Tourism in recent years have become an important factor in the world economy. In India too, it has become an important generator of resources, earner of foreign exchange, and creator of employment opportunities. It is in recognition of this potential that in India, the National Development Council recommended the status of an industry to tourism. The Ministry of Tourism, which is responsible for the growth and marketing of tourism industry in India, conforming to international standards, has been functioning as a regulatory authority without any direct tourism related supporting legal mechanism or system for ensuring adherence to agreed procedures and regulations. Its role has been that of a catalyst in interceding on behalf of various segments of the industry with other ministers, departments of the central government, state government, and local agencies. Such assistance, however, can at best only be on a selective basis in respect of those hotels, travel agents, tour operators, transport operators, etc., which have been accorded recognition by the Ministry of Tourism in accordance with the criteria prescribed by it for each of these segments.
These acts carry provisions like registering of tourism related businesses with state tourism departments for tour operators, travel agencies, hotels and guest houses, etc. They also give approvals to tourist guides and in some cases a tourist police force has also been introduced. The Ministry of Tourism has been debating for a long time now in drafting a central tourism legislation in the country and has started certain methods to evaluate the possibility in this respect. Globalization of the Indian economy and the necessities of GATS have had a great effect in this region, and diverse kind of suggestions are being made. There are several regulations in India that disturb tourism actions and behaviors. Different efforts have been made by the Tourism Ministry in India to find out the possibility of devising a tourism regulation. Nevertheless, these efforts are still in the beginning phase, and whatsoever distinct has yet to begin in this respect.
Similarly, the transportation system is governed by various laws, rules, and regulations. However, these laws and regulations vary state-wise. For example, the taxation on tourist coaches, their permit fee, etc., varies from state to state. Hence, the Tourist Transporters Association keeps demanding for similar tariff and rates and a common license for operating at an all India level. Similarly, the rate of sales tax and many other taxes that are imposed for tourism services vary from state to state. Few states like Jammu and Kashmir, Goa and Himachal Pradesh have enacted tourism legislation for regulating and controlling the tourism industry.
For example, in United States, 51 different sources, states and federal government contribute toward tourism law. These include federal and state constitutions, common law, administrative law, treaties and status. Similarly, in India, the union list, concurrent list and state list all have elements associated to tourism, though tourism is not specifically referred to anywhere. For example, immigration laws, aviation, archaeological sites and monuments, shipping, highways, etc. come under the union list. Protection of wild animal and birds, forests, etc. form part of the concurrent list, whereas domestic pilgrimage, theatres, etc. form part of the state list. Different laws have come up at different intervals of time as regards these themes. There is no such law that encompasses all aspects of tourism, though the demand for one has been picking up. It has been argued, in fact, that legislation on tourism seeks to define in clear, unambiguous terms the rights and responsibility of its various segments vis-a-vis the user and vice versa, and to provide for legal protection of the rights and enforcement of the responsibilities thus defined. This means that practically all aspects relating to tourism should be governed by one tourism legislation. Currently, there are various legislation that directly or indirectly affect tourism. These can be characterized below the following head. Rules associated to trans-border movement like visa regulation, customs, immigration laws, foreign exchange regulations, etc. regulations associated to transport like railways, road, airlines regulations and water transport, fares and tariff, etc. Rules associated to accommodation like categorization, ranking, rating of hotels, etc. Consumer protection laws relating to hygiene, health facilities, quality standards, etc. Regulations associated to infrastructure growth, land use, etc. Labor regulations associated to workers' wages, working conditions, etc. Regulations concerning the execution of tourism bodies at various levels. Preservations associated regulations on environment safeguard, historical sites and monuments, etc. Regulations associated to human resource development, regulations for controlling the service providers, etc. Different countries have their own provisions on these laws, whereas there are areas of international operations where common provisions are followed. Very rare nations in the world have what can be called as tourism regulation. In most of the countries, there are various laws that have a direction on tourism processes and actions. The various types of tourism-related laws enacted in different countries relates to protection of tourists, border controls, quality of services, protection of environment, conservation of historical sites and monuments, tourism industry regulations, and the relationship between the various segments of the travel and tourism industry.
So students, let's now summarize what we have learned in this module. The existence of what we term as tourism laws today can be traced back in history from the most ancient times in practically all the civilizations. Many ancient texts refer to travelers' accommodations and facilitations, laws about the functioning of sarais, state officials' responsibilities toward travelers, tariff, etc. However, today we have more complex laws that have emerged not only because of the complex nature of the industry but also because of varied government attitudes, existence of varied government departments, tourism awareness, and so on. Tourism laws are derived from a variety of sources. These laws are derived from different sources. Generally, the need for tourism regulation was expressed from the viewpoint of tourism industry or for safeguarding the welfare of global tourists as concerns their protection or starting morals of facilities. Though voices have also been upraised demanding regulations for sustainable tourism growth, safeguarding the interest of the local population and economic profit for the host communities. Thank you.